for the first time, honestly, since we've even started doing this, we have baseball.
Thank
Finally, the
you.
lockout ended.
Thank
Um,
you.
they had ended up canceling a few
Finally.
games, but it seems like they're going to be able to make those up and play a full season. Um,
Yeah,
we
they
went through
only
the
they
rule
only canceled
changes last week.
a week of
Yeah,
the
only a
opening
week.
week. That's not bad at all.
No, it is not.
And they're gonna make up
Um,
the games. So
yeah,
that's honestly great.
they're right back where they are.
Yeah.
With
In
besides the minor rule changes.
in terms of like, some rules like, banning the shift, that I think that's, ridiculous. But I'm glad that baseball's back. Really
Yeah,
glad. Love it.
it's good. And I mean, right when it came back, deals started to be made. We talked about Matt Olson earlier. We saw a big deal go down last night with the Yankees and the Twins. Um, and it was Gary Sanchez and Gio Urshela for Donaldson and Isaiah Kiner-Falefa. Um, it
That
seemed like
one
kind of a move to make a move for both teams a
that
little
one
bit.
just that came out of nowhere. I'm
Yeah,
gonna be honest, I was a little confused about it. Like they I mean, I get it. I think Gio Urshela is like very overrated by Yankee fans, but
but I think he's underrated in general.
maybe in general, but I think I hate when Yankee fans just start
Yeah,
talking about him like 'cause they just think he's the second coming of Arenado. Uh I think it's stupid. But anyways, but I think I still like the move for the Yankees. Uh for the Twins though, I don't get why they traded Donaldson. I know he had a really big contract, but and they severely underperformed, but like I don't I wouldn't say the Twins were like a bad, like a true bottom feeder on the in the AL Central. Like
yeah. I mean that
they
division's
didn't
still
have to do that.
bad.
Yeah, exactly. It's still quite
Um, but
it's
I
still
mean,
like it's still the White Sox division, but then everything else is pretty
it's kind of
much
wide open.
up for grabs. Like the
Yeah,
Guardians aren't very good. The Tigers, they got Baez, but like I really
that's
don't
about it.
see that.
And the Royals have a couple pieces, but not really.
They have the most
Um,
overrated catcher, Salvador Perez. Other than that, that's like they didn't have to do that. They could have
no, they
very well
didn't.
competed for a potential wild card.
Yeah. Yeah. I just don't. I mean, I get trading Urshela. The Yankees were gonna trade him. They've been trying to trade him for a while. I don't really understand putting Urshela in the deal. I guess they had to get it done. Donaldson's not getting any younger.
He's
And
definitely not, but
I think I mean Kiner Fleff was good. He's a versatile piece. He can play short. He can catch. But it doesn't push the needle much for me with the Yankees. I think they're still in a similar spot
I
as they
think yeah,
were.
I agree. They are in a
And I
similar
think
spot, but I will say this. Look, I Donaldson, he's definitely not, the MVP in Toronto, but he's still got it. Like
yeah, he
last
does.
year, he had a 120, he had a 124 WRC plus, and he had a .387 x WOBA. He underperformed his x WOBA by quite a good amount. So like he still can hit the ball hard, uh, barrel up some pitches, and he was 63rd. He was in the 63rd percentile in outs above average. So he's definitely not a horrific defender. Uh, and so when you combine that with I'd say a good bat and a let's say average defense, I think I think that like obviously he's not getting any younger, but I think it's very solid. And then as for Isaiah Kiner-Falefa, uh, the only reason why I like it is just because he's a great defender. He kind of swings a pool noodle,
Yeah,
but he's a great defender, and you won't have Glaber Torres playing shortstop anymore.
yeah. I mean,
Because
yeah, it does. It
my
does
God,
leave you with a little bit better defense, but then it also, I think, creates a little bit of a logjam if you still have Glaber at second, because then you have LeMahieu probably playing third, unless you put Donaldson. I mean, Donaldson could DH, but then you have Stanton in the
yeah,
outfield, and then you still got to figure out your first baseman situation. If it's Voit, if it's Rizzo, if it's Freeman,
or
if it's someone else.
LeMahieu, like
Yeah, maybe you could play first if they don't sign a big guy or trade Luke Voit for someone. It's also going to be interesting with Donaldson and Cole in the same locker room because these guys don't like each other.
Oh
So
yeah.
that'll be interesing. But
I don't think they'll have that much of an impact.
It's a very Yankees type
pitcher.
move.
It's a pitcher and a position player, and it is a Yankee type move. They're taking on a really big contract, so maybe they're like trying to say to the fans like we're gonna start spending again. But then again, this takes them out of the running to sign Story or Correa.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't. It wasn't. I didn't really understand the move, but like I don't think it wasn't a bad move by any means.
I don't think either team got significantly worse, but I don't think either team got significantly better. So
definitely.
That's why it seemed like kind of a deal to make a deal. But there was another deal involving the other New York team with the Mets, and you and Zach are pretty excited about this one with Chris Bassitt coming over from the A's.
I love it. I love it. They just all they give up were some prospects, and they're already in a roster that's built to win now. So I love this move. To have Chris Bassitt as a number 3 guy,
he was an all-star last year.
Exactly. He was an all-star. That I love this move. It gives them so much depth.
He proved his longevity. He proved his longevity for a team that has struggled with staying healthy.
Exactly.
To have a pitcher that can stay healthy would be huge behind DeGrom and Scherzer. You still have Taijuan Walker, Carrasco.
And you got Carrasco, even Tyler McGill, or David Peterson. Like they're obviously those are not that good, but those are like the bottom starters, and I think that is just very solid to have them as like the bottom. Like I think now I will say that the Mets definitively have a top 3 rotation in the MLB.
Yeah, I mean, even without him, they were up there. Even
without Bassitt, you could argue that they were up there. I was gonna say that they were a little top heavy, but now it gives them so much more depth, and I love it. I love it.
I mean, they were top heavy, but I mean, Taijuan Walker was very solid for the first half of the year last year. And then Carlos Carrasco has shown that he can be a solid starter. So
exactly. I mean,
it's a good deal.
With Taijuan Walker, I mean, he was pretty good in the first half and then fell off a cliff the second half. But then once you add in a guy like Chris Bassitt, that takes so much pressure.
It takes weight off him.
Off both him and Carrasco. So I think it just helps them the most. And I'll go over the stats really quick. He had a 3.34 FIP, 3.3 WAR, 9.1 K per 9, 2.23 walks per 9. Very solid numbers.
Yeah,
very, very, very solid.
Yeah.
So I'm excited for the Mets.
Yeah, so am I, honestly. They've had by far the best offseason, as much as it pains me to say as a Yankee fan, but I think I was just talking about it with my friend today. I think they have had probably the best offseason, and I don't think it's very close. But
they made by far the biggest splashes of any team.
Yeah. But another team that has, I think, has honestly had the second best offseason has been the Seattle Mariners. And they added today Jesse Winker and Eugenio Suarez from the Reds.
Yeah.
And I think it might rule them out of the Chris Bryant sweepstakes a little bit, which I think is unfortunate for them. But they got better today, picking up those 2 guys.
They definitely did get better. Look, because I know Suarez, he looked horrendous, pretty really, really bad this last year. But
Jesse Winker was an all-star.
Yeah, Jesse Winker was great, and he's a bad defender. Put him at DH. I think and just let him focus only on hitting. I think that'll be great for him. Or even put Suarez at DH.
Yeah, either of them.
Either of them are have potential to be very good bats. Like we saw in 2019, Suarez had I think 48 home runs.
Yeah. He's proven that he can hit.
Exactly. And before that, he had a pretty good track record. So I think Winker, I really like, and then with Suarez, it's I think it's just a low risk, high
Yeah, I was
reward
just gonna say
type
that.
type player. So
Yeah, I mean the whole
I
deal
like
is low
that.
risk and very high reward for the Mariners. I think the Mariners with Matt Olson gone for the A's are out of contention for that division.
The Angels are
It,
just stuck in
yeah, the
mediocrity,
Angels haven't really done much this offseason besides get Noah Syndergaard, and that's about it. Um,
and then the
and
Astros,
the Astros
their Astros
still haven't
are still
re-signed
very good,
Correa.
but yeah,
So it's honestly right now it might be the Mariners' division to lose. It
it,
seems like,
I think it's just between the Mariners and Astros, and
yeah,
then there's just everyone else. Like I don't care that I know that who is it? The Rangers, they signed Corey Seager
yeah, but there's still
and
they got
Simmons,
a
but
lot of holes to
yeah,
fill. So
exactly. They lost Gallo. Pitching rotation is not good. And outside of Seager and Simeon, there's not really
yeah,
much. There's not really much. And okay, and Adolis Garcia. Adolis Garcia is
yeah,
good. But
he's good.
other than that, there's really not much to be excited about.
Yeah, there's not. But there's a bunch of free agents left to still to be signed, as we mentioned. We got Carlos Correa, Freddie Freeman, Chris Bryant, as we've mentioned, just to name a few. So we saw Kershaw re-sign this week. We saw Carlos Rodon sign with the Giants,
Which
um,
yeah.
which
I
was a
I
very
like that
underrated
move a lot.
signing.
I love that move actually.
Yeah,
I mean, he was a dark horse like Cy Young candidate
yeah, and the
last
Giants
season.
just lost their Cy Young candidate in Kevin Gausman earlier in the
Yeah,
offseason, so they filled that spot with Carlos
exactly.
Rodon.
So it still keeps the Giants very competitive.
Yeah,
Maybe not. It's definitely not their division anymore, but
no.
the wild
Unless
card is still
maybe
up
they
in the air.
re-sign Chris Bryant, or someone like that. But um, I mean, yeah, I don't have any predictions for these guys that have changed from last time we did this. I mean, for Correa, I mean, you still got the big contenders. Freeman, it seems more and more like the Dodgers could be in play for Freddie
Yeah,
Freeman.
I
Um,
had that was my prediction. Now he's done with Atlanta.
yeah,
That is definitely for sure. But and yeah, the Dodgers, they don't really have a first baseman anymore because now Muncy will probably move to second,
hmm
and
And then
and
you got
now
Trey
they
Turner at short.
now you have Trey Turner at short, Justin Turner still at third.
Still have Chris
Uh,
Taylor.
like if if Freddie Freeman goes to the Dodgers, they're already I'd say they're already the best team in the league, but
Yeah,
that would just put them wildly over the top
yeah.
if they get Freeman.
I mean,
I genuinely I think that is going to happen.
yeah. No, I think by the day, it seems more and more likely that Freddie Freeman will begin this season as a Dodger.
Yeah.
And then I mean another news in the NOS today, Fernando Tatis fractured his wrist, and he's
Yeah.
out for up to 3 months. So
That is just
a guy that
tragic.
couldn't stay healthy last year and that came back to bite the Padres already has a big injury this year. So
Yeah, and it's spring training.
yeah,
It's
and just
really
started.
painful. The best shortstop in the league, not close. Best shortstop
Yeah,
in the league, and he's already hurt. He's gonna be out for almost half the year.
yeah.
That's
Big blow for the Padres and a
it's
big positive for
painful.
the Dodgers.
Just as a baseball fan, you hate to
Yeah,
see
you
it.
just, you just hate to see it with guys
Yeah,
getting hurt. So
yeah, and he's
uh,
just one of the most. He's just a very exciting guy to watch. Like he's not afraid to show his emotions,
not at
and
all. No.
and it sucks. It really does.
Yeah. Um, but that's what we have for baseball stuff. But we'll definitely see some more stuff coming up in the next couple weeks regarding baseball. As the season comes closer, spring training games start to be played, more signings, trades, and we'll come out with position rankings and team power rankings and stuff like that. Um, and just one last thing, we go back to NFL stuff. The Chargers made some big moves this week, getting Khalil Mack, trading for him earlier in the week, and then
Yeah,
signing J.C. Jackson today.
yeah.
Um,
What an off season. What a week
I
it's
mean,
been in sports.
I might go even as far to say as not only are they Super Bowl contenders, but they're one of the favorites
I think I
I'd
would.
say.
I don't disagree. I don't disagree with that at
I mean,
all.
their problem was the defense, and they got
Yeah,
two of the league's best defenders.
it's it's crazy. Like I had them as an overrated team last season, but the moves they made now, and I really like their coach just because he's very analytically driven.
Yeah,
Uh, I like he's got the confidence going for it on fourth down. Always trying to go for it. I actually love that. And now they have help on defense. J.C. Jackson, he just had
interception king.
the real
Yeah, the
interception.
real interception king. Not
Not
fraud.
not an interception merchant.
Yeah,
He he shuts people down and gets the picks. So
yep.
I mean, wow, the Chargers are scary now.
Big deal for the Chargers.
Lots of big names, and
yeah.
and Mike Williams
and
resigned.
Mike Williams resigned, so that they made sure their offense is set now. They got Herbert, Eckler, Keenan Allen, Williams like they did last year. I mean, Jared Cook is getting up there in age. Maybe they sign or draft a tight end. They're not really missing much on defense now. Maybe a linebacker to go alongside Khalil Mack, but that's about it. I mean, this team is really solid. They got their
lot
corners.
of stars.
Yeah, J.C.
Lots
Jackson,
of stars.
Asante Samuel, Derwin James is still one of, if not the best safeties in the league. Joey Bosa is a force on the line. So the Chargers, they might be the favorite over the Chiefs right now, honestly, in that division. Because
low key, like the defense, the defense for the Chiefs defense really is
the Chiefs haven't really made any upgrades. So
they haven't really upgraded the O-line. They haven't upgraded the defense. They didn't try and sign Mike Williams, which I think that could have been a pretty good fit. But yeah, I mean their depth last year was a bit of an issue, but now, like, you just have so many big names on that roster. Like, I don't even think it matters anymore. Like, you just have depth, but it's depth of stars.
Yeah,
it is crazy.
I mean, the names go on and on for the Chargers right now.
Exactly.
And then they made that J.C. Jackson move probably off the Russell Wilson trade because they see that the Broncos now are probably more pass heavy, and they got to defend against that high flying offense. So not only do you have to defend against the Chiefs now, I mean, J.C. Jackson's going to be matched up with Tyreek Hill every week or every time they play. So,
and he could definitely lock up Jerry Jeudy.
Yeah,
or
definitely.
Cortland Sutton.
Yeah. That was a really good deal for them. I mean, a lot of deals in NFL this week. I mean, even some other deals. Christian Kirk went to the Jaguars, which I think is a very underrated signing for them. We'll see how he does.
I think Christian Kirk is very underrated.
Yeah, so do I. I think he's going to do well. He's a good pickup for Trevor Lawrence in Jacksonville. And there's still a lot of guys that can be signed and moved this offseason. And Deshaun Watson was found not guilty. He won't face any charges for his allegations. So he can be on the move. So yeah, big week in sports this week. I mean, we we kind of think it's one of the biggest weeks in a while. So every day there was something that we wanted to talk about, and I think that's only going to continue as the NCAA tournament gets played out and baseball season starts and NFL keeps going. I mean, we didn't have any NBA stuff this week, and it was still a big week in the NBA. So,
we'll briefly mention
the Nets.
The Nets absolutely spanking the 76ers. Harden was like 2 for 14.
I wish I could see Zach's reaction right now.
I know. I honestly think that he's a 76ers fan for how much he roots against the Nets now. Honestly, but
it does seem like it.
I think that was a real, just quickly, like that was a real very significant. It was a real statement saying KD, the best player in the world, is back.
Yeah.
And we don't even have one of our best players back yet either.
Yeah.
Ben Simmons is yet to be seen, and they stomped on the
Yeah.
76ers.
Yeah, I mean, Harden got off to a good start in his 76ers career, but he's kind of struggled the last couple games shooting
Yeah,
the ball.
he's only been. He had a great start, but he was playing like the Knicks twice, and
Yeah.
then it was some other team that was just not that good. And now he's going against a real team like the Brooklyn Nets. You see what happens. So
Yeah.
you can't don't
Kyrie
count
and
out the Nets
KD.
despite them being an 8 seed.
Yeah,
Don't
and
count them
Kyrie and
out.
KD are dangerous together. I mean, one of the things that people forget is like when they had Harden, like Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving's workload was kind of cut in half a little bit, or cut in thirds. So now the more of a full workload, they're definitely gonna be able to pick up that
Yeah,
slack.
and we just saw
And
Kyrie
you
have
still need
one
Ben
of the
Simmons.
most efficient
Yep,
shooting performances ever.
yep. And then KD
So
goes and drops 53 on the Knicks. So
250 burgers in like the same within like 3 days
yeah,
and by the Nets. So big things. Scary Hours is returning.
yeah. And they're gonna be a low
shortly.
seed in the West. So I mean the East. So um,
It
that's
don't
not a
matter.
team I'd want to see in the first round. Or in
Especially
the
considering
play-in.
like I think okay, the East is definitely very competitive, but I really don't think there's any team that's like over the top good. Like
No.
in the West, there's I think the Suns once they get Chris Paul, that the Jazz, the Warriors, like those are much more complete teams. Like at the East, it's really anyone's race. It really is.
Yeah, you just got a lot of stars in the East, honestly, that are gonna have to carry their teams, whether it's Jason Tatum or Embiid or Durant or Giannis or anyone in the East.
It's
Even like
anybody's
LaMelo
race.
Ball, someone's gonna have to carry their team. So
Every
um,
team is like within a couple games of each other.
yeah, I mean even the tens. I think the Hawks are towards the 9 and 10, and they were just in the conference finals last year. Trae Young can go and put on a show for them any night. So
Exactly.
it'll be interesting come playoff time, which is only a couple weeks away. So
It's gonna be a great
yeah,
playoffs.
we're definitely
Very
going to talk
exciting.
a lot about the NBA playoffs when those arrive with predictions and stuff. But that's all we have today. So good array of topics this week. Any final words from you?
These up Nova for the chip. That's all I got.
Yeah, yeah, it's going to be really good March Madness. I'm pissed off that Virginia didn't make it, but hopefully they can win the NIT.
The
First round against
NIT.
Mississippi State coming up.
uh,
So hopefully they can make a run.
always
But
love the NIT.
there's always next year for them. But yeah, we'll see what upsets happen in March starting this week. And
We'll see Zach next week too.
yeah, we'll see Zach next week. I mean, he's in Florida right now, as am I. So I don't know what he's gonna make excuses, but
It is what it
he'll
is.
come back next week.
Yep.
So that's all for us today, and see you and Zach next week.
Yep. Until next time.